Hey guys, Faith Hill here. In the truck, we are actually about to hop on an airplane and go on one of our very first kidless week-long deals. So we're pumped, but it's a bittersweet thing. But I wanted to come to you guys before I get on this plane and share a couple things on my heart. Jenni and Nathan were so gracious to invite me to come and share with you guys for the Monday night call. So obviously I'm pre-recording it right now, but tonight we're going to be talking about how to attract and have business builder conversations. All right. So it's kind of the crux. Some of you guys love it. Some of you guys get knots in your stomach over it. But it is the crux, right? It is what makes you a builder versus a sharer. Some of us say, I'm a builder. But if you're not doing this recruiting, if you don't have builders under you, or you're not going after builders, you're not building. You are sharing with a lot of customers, and neither are bad. But let's just be very real and clear with really what we're doing with doTERRA, right? Because that's going to help you set very proper expectations, not only for yourself, but realistic goals. That way you're not going to have a month after month of disappointment, okay? So I used to hate this part of the business, if I'm being really honest. I hated it. I did it because I had to, and I think I did have some success with it. But when I really look at the longevity of those first calls that I had, most of those people are sharers at best. Most of them are just customers. Some of them want nothing to do with the business, if I'm being really honest. But one of them is actually one of my strongest leaders today. So I definitely learned a lot that I want to share with you guys tonight. The biggest thing that I think I learned when I look at the conversation I had with her versus all of those others, in hindsight, I really didn't know what I didn't know. And I had never done a business like this. I was literally having these conversations for business prospects just with the information that I was told. And to Jenni and Nathan's defense, we were all starting together. So we really didn't know. We were literally just saying what we had heard as well. We really didn't know what this business entailed. So now we do. And now you guys are on a team with a lot of people that know exactly what this business takes and are not afraid to communicate it because we know it only helps. So we're definitely going to be diving into that. But I want to categorize these two, or having business conversations in two categories, okay? There are the organic moments that actually happen and lead to having a business conversation. And if I'm being really honest with you and you're being honest with me, a lot of us are waiting on those moments. Like, you just want it to be organic. You don't want to be that person that goes after your friends, right? And so I think a lot of us are really wanting those moments to happen. So I want to talk to you about how to attract those moments and then what to do if those moments actually do come your way. The second category, and I would say that this is the Chevy or the Elevate team difference. It just depends on your frame of reference when you joined our team. But the difference of having an intentional business call, right? Like an intentional pursuit. And what I'd like to submit to you guys today is I actually like to call this authentic intentional pursuit, because I believe that can make the difference for you. Now, the Chevy or Elevate difference is actually going after business builders and looking at this as an intentional business with an intentional goal. Because of that, Elise Chevy is the top paid producer. She is your upline, guys. She is the top rank in all of doTERRA in the globe. And Nathan and Jenni, as you know, literally crushed every goal and still are the record holder for hitting diamond the quickest in anybody in the globe. And the reason is they were not afraid to have these intentional conversations. But what can make the difference for you, right? So what I think is the faith difference and what your name, whatever your difference is the authentic piece. You have to know your communication style. You have to know your relationship level that you have with the person that you're talking to. And so I really want to dive into those two scenarios of prospect conversations, right? The organic moments and the authentic intentional pursuit. All right. So you guys ready to dive in with me? one of the biggest things that I learned when I look at the people that I first reached out to, like I said, one of them is one of my top girls today. The rest of them are at best sharers, mostly customers, and some, I don't even know that they dabble in doTERRA anymore. So, the biggest difference that I really learned was my authenticity and my connective ability with her and in that conversation. And really, I think because I love and care about her so much that I wanted to make sure that I was super real with her and I did not overpaint something, right? And I was probably about a month or two in the business, and so I was just really real with her. And so it really paid off because I didn't paint a picture that wasn't true. So being authentic and present is huge. So let's talk for a minute about these organic moments and how you can really attract them, okay? So before these moments ever happen, there's a little bit of homework you guys have to do. We hit this all the time in Elevate. So I wanna make sure that, we are hitting it again. But number one is get clear on your why. Why are you doing doTERRA? Are you doing this to share? Are you doing this to build? Why are you building? You need to really get clear with that because that's your center. A lot of the fears that we have in this business of, I don't wanna be that person. Well, then don't be. Know why you're doing what you're doing and don't look back. Be okay with that. It took me a while to get to that place. Honestly, I did this business for about a year before I was really, truly okay with it. That's not the case for some. Bonnie, she's one that she knows what she's doing. She loved it. She hit diamond in freaking 5 months. It took me 20. There's a difference. You got to get clear, and you should get clear quickly for yourself. So be okay with where you are and what you have achieved in the business, even if you're disappointed with it. Just be okay with where you are right now. This is number 2. And know what excites you. What does excite you about this business? Maybe you're at a business point and you're kind of feeling low. Let's be honest, we all have them. But you need to still know what excites you. Is it the opportunity that's in front of you? Is it the fact that can feel, you can call people that have actually hit the ranks that you want to hit, and you can talk to them and hear how they did it? That's huge. There are so many businesses that sell opportunities, but it's almost like the people that have reached these amazing ranks or done these things that you think would only, be a dream, you can never talk to them, or maybe you see them on stage, and that's just not the case. Find somebody that has achieved what you want to achieve and call them, okay? So here's the deal. The third one is listen. Obviously, you want to listen to them. You're listening for things that they're saying so that you can connect with them. But you are going to make this about them, okay? And number 4, this is the biggest one, okay? Their story is not your story, the good or the bad. In other words, don't over or undersell. If you're having a really poo-poo month, okay, let's be honest. If you're just really having a crappy month, you all of a sudden maybe don't want to call this person that you love because you don't want to put them through the hell that you're feeling right now. But their story's not your story. It's just not. And so underselling or keeping them from something that you really think they'd be great at, you really think that they'd love, you really think that they'd excel at, don't not call them just because your experience has not been great. Their story is not your story. You have no idea the network that they have. You have no idea the opportunities that they have. I actually have a girl right now that I'm recruiting. I guarantee you she will totally surpass me and everything that I've achieved in this business very quickly. And that's exciting. I want that for her. I don't want to make my story her story, right? And let's flip that, right? I hit silver in 30 days. I hit gold in 6 months. I hit diamond in 22 months, I think it was. 20 months. And, the reality to that is that's not going to be everybody's story either. I don't want to oversell to someone and say, you can hit silver in 30 days. Those of you that have been building this business say, that's tough. Well, it was tough. And so I also don't want to make my story everybody's story and minimize the work so that when they do get started, all of a sudden now it's not what they thought. Just being super, super real. All you can do is tell your truth and tell your story, but also you can connect them with somebody that has a different story than yours if you think that they're seeing bigger and you want them to vision bigger. If you think that they have the potential to have a story that's maybe greater than yours, then connect them with somebody that has a story that's greater than yours. Does that make sense? If you feel like you have had a huge story and you don't think that they're going to be able to achieve it, then tailor what you say to them to encourage them to have wins all along the way, right? So that's probably been the biggest thing. So here's the deal. Organic moments. Attracting an organic moment. How do you do this? And what do you do when they come, all right? So the first thing is, I love this. This is now my favorite thing about the business. Be yourself and ask a ton of business questions. So in order to have a business conversation, I love to ask other people about their businesses. I actually have made it my passion to learn about other network marketing companies. I love learning about them. I want to know all about their pay plan. I want to hear their business spiels. I want to know if they have clear formulas, meaning if you put this amount of time in for this amount of months, you can expect to hit this rank, which is this average dollar amount. Like, you know what you're getting in doTERRA. Guys, because this has been your experience, you are going to be shocked to find out that is not the experience across the board. It's just not. There's a lot of ambiguity, a lot of very unclear things, a lot of opportunities being sold. And so I love to, especially when I find someone that's been in network marketing, like, tell me about your business. I'm kind of new to network marketing, and I just really love learning about other people's comp plans and just really making sure that this is the right vehicle that I'm in. And I totally do. I just totally ask them questions. And when you ask them that, they think that they're going to recruit you. And so you're just getting all this data. And in your mind, you're comparing. You are comparing with the great that you know you have and the data that you have compared to with what you're learning from. And I have actually found that to be my most powerful tool, because at some point in the conversation, they're going to see that, man, I've really been doing a lot of talking. I should ask them about theirs, right? And so, or ask her about hers. And so ultimately they end up start asking me questions, and it's really been a cool transition. So I ask a ton about their business, or if they're in a job. Oh my gosh, are you loving it? Is this what you really want to do? Tell me what you love about it. Tell me what you'd love to be doing. Oh my gosh, have you ever thought about doing network marketing? I mean, girl, I literally never thought that I would do network marketing, but I don't know, just based on what you're saying, maybe it's a fit for you. Not being super emphatic. I am all about an assumptive close, but not for business, not when I'm just starting this conversation. If I've just done a class presentation and produced all the value in this product, I have absolutely every right to do an assumptive close. But when it comes to business and it comes to these really big life decisions, I love throwing it out there as a maybe or a I don't really know, but maybe, if you want to explore it, like, I'd love to walk you through it, but, totally wherever you're at. I love to downplay it because it makes them feel less pressure. It makes them know I'm not desperate and that it really is up to them. It's their choice. It's their life. It's their business. And ultimately, guys, here's the deal. Who wants to do an assumptive close for business? I don't want to pull anybody along on this journey. If this isn't for them, then that's okay. We have a place for them in our organization. That's as a customer, right? So I am not interested in making a square peg a round hole. I'm just not. So you shouldn't be either. All right. So, a really authentic way to do this is to ask about business. The second way is doing the business presentation at the end of every class. Take 5 or 10 minutes, guys. I know you've been taught to do this. This isn't the call for that. But if you've been skipping them, you never know. You absolutely never know. And that is a seed planted that you can harvest in the future, which is really exciting. So that's a big one. All right. When this opportunity comes your way, I've also had people just organically be like, hey, I want to know what you do. Or they would say, I want to learn a little bit more about your business. Or would you talk to me about the business side of things? Or what does it mean to become a wellness advocate, right? So those are great conversations. So knowing what to do when this actually does come your way. So here's the deal. Don't panic or get too excited. You've been waiting for this moment. Don't blow it. Blowing it would be giving all the information at once. Don't do that. Don't do that. Literally just answer one thing at a time. Don't bulldoze them. Sometimes somebody just wants to put their big toe in and we're yanking them in the deep end, okay? So don't do that. Just meet them where they are. Give a little teeny bit of information, and if they take another step forward, then give them another information. Then if they take another step forward, then give them another piece of information. And another last tip that I would have for you is have something to invite them to. Number one, if you don't feel confident having this conversation, have something to invite invite them to so that you can get in and get out. Don't blow it, right? Get in, get out. Just say, oh my gosh, that's great that you're interested. Here, why don't you, and here's a couple things that you can invite them to. A call with you specifically about it, where maybe you send them the build guide first or the build video. Or, the video is a great thing to invite them to, setting up a call with you. A webinar. We are now doing a business sneak peek webinar in our organization. So I know a lot of other organizations have been doing that. We're a little bit new to that. We're trying that out for us, and I am pumped. The response has already been incredible. Having something to invite them to is incredible. And maybe your organization should be doing a local bi-monthly meeting in person, just specifically about the business, just a business sneak peek for those that are curious, okay? A lot of people are curious, but they're afraid to ask because they think you're going to be like Smothertown. So just give them a safe place to really be curious, okay? And last but not least, you can always invite them to a class if they're totally new to wanting to know anything about the company. So have something to invite them to, all right? So those are your organic moments. Now, authentic intentional pursuit. This is a big deal. Elevate Training Site has awesome trainings on this. These are trainings you need, skills you need to develop, and certainly a lot of, guidelines on how to do this. They're already out for you. So a couple things that I would add are my tips to what Jenni has already trained on, which is amazing. And if you haven't watched those modules yet, go do it. If you guys don't know, then the Elevate Training Site, it's free to you. Are you freaking kidding me? This is literally worth $1,500 easily, and Jenni and Nathan have rolled it out totally open to Elevate, so please be taking advantage of that if you've not already. So my tips that I would add to it would be just be super open and clear, and my favorite is call out the obvious. Call it out. Honestly, if you're afraid, whatever it is that you're afraid of, sometimes I just feel like calling it out is the best thing. If it's somebody on my poop list and I just know she's going to think I'm a wackadoo, I call it out. I'm like, girl, I really don't want you to think I'm a wackadoo, but I cannot shake this. I can't shake this. So just because I, am going to be true to you as my friend, I just want to lay this out and just present this to you and just even really feel you out to see if maybe it was ever a potential possibility for you. Again, downplaying, not assumptive closing, calling out, girl, you quite possibly might think I'm a wackadoo. And I'm okay with that. I think if that's your biggest fear, if you just go ahead and put it on the table, then you're okay with it. What's the worst now that can happen in that phone call? What's the worst that can happen? Nothing, right? The second thing would be find your communication power skill and use it to forward progress the conversation. So what is your power skill? Are you a powerful listener? Do you have the strength of woo, right? Do you have a strength of relatability? Do you have a strength of clarifying things that are typically confusing? Find your communication skill and really use it to forward progress the conversation. What is a forward progression? Forward progression is knowing that dance of not pushing too hard or knowing when to pull back, but also not being afraid to ask or put something. I think that's the biggest thing, even with the organic moments. You can see that somebody might be interested. You can see that maybe there's that question in their mind and you're afraid to actually put the information in their hands. I cannot tell you how many people have had that look in their eye and I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to give you this guide. Take it home. I'll call you later about it, but just read it. I think you'd really like what's inside. I think you'd find it very interesting. Don't be afraid. I think a lot of times our fears don't forward progress someone and the moment passes. You don't have to be that person. You don't have to be pushy. You can be you and still forward progress. You can be you and still plant seeds and help someone see that, there is an opportunity and our relationship is not contingent on what you decide to do. I think that's the biggest thing, that you have to be open with that. All right, so address your fears, yours and theirs, head on. If you're hearing pushback from them, if you're hearing a harshness or I would never, I was just talking to one of my builders the other day and I was like, oh, it's so funny because I think not only do we become what we judge, I think we judge what's really deep inside of our hearts that we wish we could live out. So if people are really being staunch, I would never do that. There is something about network marketers that they probably wish they could live out unabandonedly, and because of whatever judgments they have in their heart, they just can't. And so I can say that because that was me, guys. That was 150,000% me. So don't make that about you. If they are harsh and they're staunch and they have really abrupt ways of saying it, don't make that about you, because it's not about you. You just laugh it off. Be yourself, because you're walking in something that they wish that they could, but they won't let themselves. So just know that, okay? Don't be afraid of the no. Again, that was me. I mean, Nathan and Jenni are amazing. You guys know them. They've been doing this for years. They know how to have builder prospect calls. And literally the minute that they texted me, hey, I just want to run something by you, I looked at my husband. I'm like, oh my God, they're going to try and recruit me for Shackley. And I did not get back with them for like 3 days. And it was like, let me know what you have today or tomorrow. That the very text. I did not get back with them for like 3 days. And then finally when I did, the whole time, I've got the phone on mute and I'm like, I'm not doing this. I can't even believe this. And y'all know my story. I won't get into it, but it was my husband that actually said, I think you need to do this. But I'm saying all that to say I was a staunch no, and I'm one of their frontline leaders now. So you never really know who will be what in this business, and it's really just going to take the boldness and that security in your belly to be able to have those conversations no matter the outcome. So the last tip that I'll give you when you are doing these authentic and intentional pursuits, know each outcome, that scenario that can happen, because there's really only 3, and what you would do in each scenario. That way, no matter what comes up, you're not shocked, you're not surprised, and you can forward progress the conversation because you know exactly what to do, okay? So obviously we know that one scenario is that they'd say, no, I'm not interested, i.e. me, the faith response, right? So from there, you'd want to get a referral, just like Jenni teaches. And you know what? Make them a customer if they're not already. And it's super simple. Basically going, girl, I get it. And I love your honesty. That's exactly why I called you, because I knew that you'd be super real and honest with me. But here's the deal. I still know that these products would be amazing to enhance your life. I get you don't want to do the business, but at minimum, I've got to get some of these products in your hand, because I know that they will revolutionize what you're doing. I just see you loving these products. So let me know what you want to work on and sample them or get them to a class. So if it's a no, get them to be your best customer ever, and definitely get them to give you a referral. Number 2, if they are one of those people that just says, I just need a little bit more information, that's okay. Have links ready, whether their point of interest is a CPTG, whether it's the actual business side of things, or if it's the helping hands or the product. Have links of what their interest really is ready and available. And then if they're interested, have something to invite them to. So very similar to the organic moment, always have something you can invite them to. A call, a webinar, a business sneak peek, whether that's in live or, online. So, or a call with your upline. Obviously, that is a really, really great non-threatening next step for sure. So here's a couple closing tips. You guys have been awesome. I want you guys to start hosting sneak peeks. I cannot tell you the response that we have already been getting and the registrants we've already been getting, people from nowhere, out of nowhere, that, the marketing that we did for it was just, hey, curiosity is the only thing required. We were curious, so we know that you are too. Come have a look. This is a no strings attached sneak peek into our business, the behind the scenes of doTERRA. Host those consistently so that you and your team always have something to invite people to. Sometimes I think that's half the battle, is when you're getting in these calls and you really don't know how to close it out or end it or what to do, and you're feeling panic. And so having somewhere to invite them to just kind of even relieves the pressure off of you in those conversations, whether it's an organic moment or something that you've intentionally pursued. The next thing that I would say is play to your strengths. What are your strengths? Play to them. Don't expect, that's the beautiful thing about this business, guys, is you don't have to be everything to everyone. You need to know your strengths. I've got this one girl on my team, recruiting is her jam. She could do it in her sleep. Everybody she talks to is going to say yes. It's like a dream any of us would want. But she struggles with coaching and helping them with, after they've said yes, what do they do now? Guess what? Her upline is great at that. And so teaming them up to play with their strengths. What are your strengths? Is it recruiting? Is it coaching? Is it teaching? Get a plan in place that supports you and your teammates so that you guys have something and someone that excels at all the aspects of the business, and help each other. That is what makes this business so incredibly amazing, okay? So last but not least, guys, I want you to set a goal and I want you to go for it. This is your business, so you get to go at your pace. Nobody gets to tell you what that is, but I want you to be realistic. If you're setting a goal and yet the plan of action that you have in place does not fit what is needed for your goal, then I want you to be really honest with yourself. I don't want you to set yourself up to have a month where you don't have a win. Whatever your personal win is, go for it. If it's recruiting and having, just even getting yourself over the hurdle of having those conversations, then set a goal for yourself. How many do you want to have this month? If you want to attract and create those organic moments, then ask yourself how many of those that you want to try and attract, okay? And start having those conversations, asking people about their businesses, right? Having those presentations at the end of every single class, right? Go ahead and start setting up your sneak peeks, because I'm telling you, you build it and they will come. So I want you to go for it. Be honest. You are going to sow. I'm sorry. Yes. No. Yes. You are going to reap and harvest what you sowed 90 days ago. I had a poopy month, and I really had to stop and ask myself, what were you doing 90 days ago, Faith? And I was totally chilling. I was totally taking it easy, and I reaped that. And so I just want you guys to know that you will reap in a great way what you are harvesting 90 days from today. And so if you want to start walking in great success and really hitting the goals that you've been setting for yourself in doTERRA, then start putting those actions in place now, because in 90 days, you are going to reap that. So I'm excited for you guys. I hope that this has helped alleviate some maybe fears or confusions that you have around the business prospect calls. So go have them, be confident in them, and be yourself. You guys are amazing. Talk to you soon. Bye.